Welcome back to Sommelier, your tastemaker for every little thing. And this week we are talking about one of my favorite drinks and one of my favorite places. We're talking about rum and we're talking about the Caribbean. Now I've got 3 of my favorite bottles of rum right back here. I'm going to talk through them in just a minute, but first I wanted to give y'all some table stakes about what rum is and why I like it so much. So rum is fermented sugarcane, and just like all the other spirits we've talked about here, whiskey, tequila, etc., it comes in lighter variations and darker variations. And why is it light versus why is it dark? Well, after you immediately ferment the sugarcane, you can either bottle it right away and send it on its way to the people of the world, or you can age it. Specifically, rum is often aged in oak barrels in usually the Caribbean, or honestly, it's made all over the world, but traditionally it was made in the Caribbean. It was invented in the Caribbean. But there are places like Costa Rica that also have really amenable climates for sugarcane. And they also have a really awesome tradition of making rum there as well. But me personally, I get my rum from the Caribbean. My first experiences with rum were in the Caribbean. And I also just like the characteristics of the rum there. It's really reflective, as I continue to say in all my whiskey videos, it's really reflective of the land and where it comes from. And it is deeply attached to my own love of travel. And anyway, you can watch all my other videos and watch me gush about why I love these spirits so much. But let's first talk about the rums that I have back here. So the first one I'm going to talk about is this one. It's Havana Club. It comes out of Cuba. And I love it. It's super light. It has made me the sweetest mojito I have ever had in my entire life. If you don't know, a mojito is a type of actually, it's kind of like, I just like dawned on me, it's a little bit like a mint julep, but instead of making it with whiskey, they make it with rum. Anyway, a mojito is one of my favorite drinks. I always order it whenever I go out somewhere, and it is traditionally made with white rum. I like my mojitos with white rum. And frankly, I just haven't tasted anything like this. So they do not sell Havana Club in the US. You have to get it. I got this from Mexico, I believe, and duty free from Mexico. But if you are traveling and you want like a really, really nice rum from Cuba, this one has been my favorite. I'd love to hear y'all's opinion though. If you have any other favorite white rums, please let me know. But as I said earlier, white rum, because aged, distilled, put in the glass. You'll see here that it says it was aged 3 years. It says that, as I said earlier, it's still light and clear. So what's going on with that? It means it was aged in probably a stainless steel vat instead of like an oak. So it hasn't taken on any of the characteristics of the oak, which means it's not brown at all. So you can see it is clear to the eye to see. But anyway, this is one of my favorites. I guess it's, you know, it's still aged, but and yet it doesn't feel too smoky or too overpowering. I love it in a mojito. I love a mojito. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. Havana Club. Check it out. So the next one I want to talk about, as I reach in the back, is another one of the classic favorites, a classic Caribbean rum and an island favorite. It's Appleton Estate, and this one is their signature estate rum. It's pretty expensive. I think I have to double check how much it runs. I'll put it on the screen how much it runs for. But again, if you ever have like a really, really good rum punch, like what I mentioned this in the promo for this, but basically rum punch is a Caribbean mixed drink. If you've ever been to the Caribbean or just ever been in a party, you'll notice that really, really good rum punches have not only just the flavors that the land produces in the Caribbean. So I'm talking passion fruits, I'm talking star fruits, sometimes watermelon, sometimes orange juice, pineapples, just these really, really vivid I said passion fruit. Anyway, these really, really vivid tropical flavors are a reflection of what the land can produce in the Caribbean, and you also find them in a rum punch mixed with spices. So if you've never been to Grenada, Grenada is known as the Spice Island. It means that they are especially amenable to growing spice there, in the same way that Jamaica is especially amenable to growing sugarcane that they turn into rum. Same thing, or similar thing rather. You take like all the different sweet spices of the Caribbean, you get a really, really beautiful rum punch. Anyway, I can send some pictures or put like a great rum punch recipe if you guys are interested in the comments. But in the interim, check this out. It's a really excellent rum punch. Again, it's dark to the eye because it was aged in an oak barrel. If you read the back of the bottle, it says here that it's blend is a fruit-forward expression of aged rum with aromas and notes of dried apricot, fresh peach, and a subtle hint of sweet molasses. And again, molasses is basically a version of sugarcane. Like you take sugarcane, you turn it into molasses. So again, same theme, sugarcane fermented into a beautiful mixed, a beautiful spirit right here, Jamaican rum. It's like amazing, and I love it. And then the last one I've got back here is a Blackwell aged rum, also from Jamaica. It looks like they started making this rum back in 1625, which do not want to go into the history of what was going on there, how they were able to make it, but in today's age, this is inspired by Chris Blackwell. who is a merchant out in Jamaica. It says here in the back that he's renowned for exporting bananas, coconuts, and rum. Family tradition introduced with Blackwell, fine Jamaican rum. All that being said, it's a really nice rum if you're trying to check out a really good rum to taste. I'm a really big fan of Tastes Good, and I mix as well with other things I like to make. Anyway, let me talk to you a couple of other things about rum. I think this episode is gonna be kind of short and sweet because I'm just gonna tell y'all about what I know about rum. Other things I want to talk to you guys about are ways to find quality in rums. There are actually a couple of celebrity rums out there. I know Bruno Mars, I think, owns a chocolate rum, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, my best advice to you if you're trying to assess quality when you're buying rums is to get something that is from the Caribbean or a place where sugar cane grows fresh. You're gonna look at the back of the bottle and read where it's from, and you're going to see where it comes from. And usually you can tell from how they describe the bottle whether or not it's from like the spiritual home of what they're trying to do. A chocolate rum, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I love Bruno Mars. I'm probably not gonna taste this chocolate rum. That sounds a little crazy to me. But if you have tried it and you loved it, please let me know. Like, I don't wanna yuck anybody's yum, but that just sounds like they're being really adventurous with a spirit that could be, you know, really special and really reflective of the people and culture it comes from. And chocolate just isn't a part of that legacy in my mind. But like I said, if you've tried it and you liked it and you love Bruno Mars, go ahead and give it a shot and let me know if it's good. That being said, a way to assess quality when it comes to rum purchasing, if you're interested in buying a nice rum, is just reading the back and seeing if it's associated with or related to the Caribbean. So that's a way that has led me down the straight in line for years and years and years. So hopefully it will not lead you guys wrong as well. One other thing I want to talk about is actually the island of Martinique. So obviously this channel, Sommelier, is about wine, spirits, and bougie things that I'm interested in. Taste making is what I'm calling it. And something that I mentioned in one of my channels, I think at the Wine 101 episode, is around like basically the indicators of quality, AOC, DOC, et cetera, et cetera. It's a French name, basically a qualifier for establishing quality in wines. Interestingly enough, on the island of Martinique in the Caribbean, there is a type of rum, I think it's called Rum Agrio. I don't speak French, so please, if someone has a lovely French pronunciation of that, please share it with me. But Rum Agrio, and it is a special kind of rum made out of the island of Martinique, which is a French I don't know if it's still a territory and they speak French there. The point I'm trying to make is it is actually included, this Rum Agrio is actually included in the AOC, DOC designations that wine also belong to. I haven't been to Martinique. I have not had an opportunity to try Rum Agrio, but I know that it tastes distinctly different from a rum that you're gonna get from Costa Rica, a rum you're gonna get from Cuba, a rum that you're gonna get from Jamaica, or anywhere else that is a really strong rum producing region. And if you have a chance to taste it, please let me know. According to what I've read, it's kind of like, it's like closer to a wine or a cognac than a like actual rum itself. So that was a little bit special and unique compared to its Caribbean neighbors. But that is pretty much, I think, all I have for y'all when it comes to rum. I love it. It reminds me of the Caribbean, being on vacation, being free, the beauty and spirit of the Caribbean people. And I've always been a really big fan. And I've loved what different islands have done with it. Like, we've got rum punches in Jamaica, we've got the mojito in Cuba, all rum-based drinks and all absolutely delicious. If you've never tasted rum, I would say if you compare, like, rums can be as distinct and strong as whiskeys, but just with a little bit more of like a spice forward profile. I know I did a review of Beyonce's Sir Davis whiskey, which I had mentioned in my review. Incredibly spiced forward, not really like a super traditional whiskey that I've ever tasted, or and I did a whole taste test on the channel if you want to check out the episode. But I think that a spiced rum is probably the closest thing to what Beyonce gave to us in their whiskey, but it's just not quite as distinct and smoky and strong, if I had to describe what it is that I'm experiencing when tasting it. But again, my favorite mixed drinks are all like rum based. Again, white rum is gonna be a little bit less like distinct or not even distinct, but a little bit less like smoky, strong, like that oak barreling gives most rums their characteristic, as I mentioned. And some people can find rum to be a little bit too strong in the same ways that whiskey can be a bit strong. But if you are a person that is interested in trying, I would say try out a white or clear rum first, and then work your way up to a darker rum if you are interested in giving it a shot. But yeah, y'all, I think this one's gonna be pretty short and sweet. I love Rums. It reminds me of one of the most beautiful and charismatic places in the world, the Caribbean, Jamaica, Cuba, the DR, Haiti. Like, it's just such a beautiful part of the world. So I hope you guys check it out. And if you have any questions or just stuff that you want me to cover in regards to rum, please let me know. But in the interim, I love y'all. Thank you for tuning into Sommelier, and I will see y'all next week. Bye for now.